I researched some information about your companies, and it turned out that most of them are in pre-seed and seed stages. I was thinking about the challenges you may face at this point and came up with several general cases. The first possible case is that your internal engineering team is busy working on a core product. Meanwhile, you want to build more features or new products, which means that you need to hire more specialists, software engineers, product managers, designers, and QAs. You don't have enough professional people in the team to build such a product that meets all the quality requirements and deadlines. And also, if you are still in validation stage, there might be also the third case. So that's the point when you need to keep changing the product, but a lot of startups cannot afford to have a big and expensive engineering team on the payroll to make this. And finally, the fifth case is when you need to hire fast but cannot pay high salaries. Summing it up, I came up with the following conclusion. Next slide, please. So I came up with the following conclusion that the current stage of your startup development, you may need to hire more qualified engineers quickly. You want to work with them on a model suitable for you. Let's take a look at the main options you have. Next slide, please. First of all, you can hire engineers in-house. You can use your own recruitment team or outsource this task to a recruitment agency that will find engineers for you. Or secondly, you may hire an IT partner company, and there are three models on how you can work with them. In this model, you may have your core team, but hire more engineers from partners' team or using their network. The second model is called dedicated team. It's similar to staff augmentation, but you hire a full-time dedicated team instead of individual developers. For example, a dedicated team can comprise of 2-3 backend developers, 2 or 3 front-end engineers, designer, product manager, and QA. And the third model is end-to-end product development. In this case, you don't hire full-time engineers or dedicated team, but entrust an IT agency to develop a product for you on a time and material basis. Let's examine the pros and cons of each option. Next slide, please. Before we dive into details, I'd like to mention that you can combine the different options. And personally, I think it is a good way to go. So let's start with the in-house. It's a great option if you want to keep all your expertise and know-how within your company. For example, if you develop a sensor or some specific algorithm and these things are the core of your business, it's better to keep them in-house. Also, it is a great option if you want to nurture talent related to some specific technology inside your company. At the same time, there are some disadvantages. So first of all, it may be time-consuming to assemble the required team, especially if you have tight deadlines. The talent pool could be also limited. And in addition, an in-house option is more expensive, as salaries in the US are higher than, for example, in Europe. Plus, you need to cover additional costs on recruiters, pay employee benefits, and may bear other administrative costs. Next slide, please. Another model is staff augmentation. This option is great when you need more people but have no time or no recruitment team to hire them. In general, it may cost you up to 20% less than an in-house model. Staff augmentation is also the option that can help you to hire more people faster. But there are some disadvantages. The onboarding and working process could be more challenging than in-house because of the time difference. You also need to manage engineers yourself since they become a part of your team. Next slide, please.
Listen to the pitch of this guy.
Dedicated team. So in this case, you hire a dedicated team that works full-time on your product or takes responsibility for some part of the project. This model will suit you if speed and cost matter to you. In other words, you don't have time on hiring a full in-house team, but want to see results fast. However, the main downside is that you need to manage the team yourself, or have to hire a product manager for this task. If you have your internal and external developers working on the same product, you will also need to set up the same development and deployment processes for both teams. And on top of that, it is important to integrate external and internal teams, and I will tell you how you can do this later. And finally, to keep your dedicated team up to date, you need to set up code reviews and transfer knowledge processes. Next slide, please. You may use end-to-end product development model if you want to develop a specific product, but you don't want to hire full-time engineers or a dedicated team. That's a great option if your software development partner has the expertise you lack. It is also a perfect match if your startup is still at the validation stage, which means that the product may change drastically, but you don't want to maintain the entire engineering team on the payroll. If you choose end-to-end product development, you pay only for hours that the team actually spends on the project. And you won't be as involved in the process as in the previous two models. So you won't need to manage external engineers or dedicated team yourself. At the same time, there are some drawbacks. Since your partner takes a lead, you have less control over the development, and also your internal team doesn't get knowledge on how the product is actually built. So you need to set up code review and transfer knowledge processes. Now I want to tell you about some of our products and cases. Next slide, please. Our team has built Plumbit, an algorithm-based real estate auction platform for the US market. The dedicated team consisted of 14 developers. We created a complex solution that brings more transparency, speed, and efficiency to real estate auctions. Based on a proprietary algorithm, the Plumbit platform caters to the needs of all auction participants: sellers, buyers, and listing agents. And the solution is powered by OCR technology that extracts different data from lengthy PDF contracts. And buyers benefit from complete transparency, so they can make a competitive offer. Sellers can outline important terms and clearly communicate their preferences. And listing agents can get higher sales prices for their clients. Using a mobile app, nurses can register, insert their skills and certifications, and go through onboarding. On other end, healthcare facilities can use a web platform to create assignments and hire nurses with most appropriate skills. And the solution is HIPAA compliant and already live, and guys are raising Series A right now. Now I want to give you several tips on how you can move forward with the models I mentioned above. Next slide, please. So if you have R&D that is core of your business, keep it in-house. For example, if you have developed some unique algorithm, it is better to keep it within your company. At the same time, you can hire a partner to develop, for example, a mobile application and web applications. That said, there are cases when you need to outsource the development of your core product. For example, when you lack the required expertise within your team. If this is the case, try to have somebody from your team who reviews what's going on in the project and how the product works under the hood. So if something happens with the external team, your teammates can continue working on the project. Next slide, please. So if you choose working with a partner, it could be a long and business-critical collaboration. So I believe it is important to have a match on both business and personal levels with your partners. Also, the team you choose for the project should have skills and expertise that correspond to your tech stack. So, for example, if your tech stack is React Native, and Python, you need to choose a partner with solid expertise in these particular technologies. And lastly, it is good to hire partners who have experience developing products in your industry. They may bring some insights and ideas from other projects in this business domain. Next slide, please. It is always great when all team members understand what is the company's mission and vision. And I believe that for better productivity, external engineers need to be on the same page on what they are building. So just like you explain why are you creating your product to your internal team, you should explain the same to your external team. And remember, they are your team now. And also, if several teams working on a product, your task is to ensure the tight collaboration between them so that they work towards the same goals. There are several ways how you can do it. You can present your roadmap, the roadmap of your product, to both external and internal teams. Also, you can have the same format of requirement specifications, synchronize release plans, create a single testing and deployment processes. And lastly, you can organize demo sessions for all the teams where each team can present their results so that other teams get familiar with what's happening on the entire project in general.
I think got about 1 minute left. Thank you.
Yeah. And next one, please. So you need to set up processes for how you evaluate your partner's performance. We recommend having a process where the team describes what they plan to deliver and show you a demo of what they have accomplished on a regular basis, for example, at the end of each sprint. You should also keep track of estimates and compare them with the actual effort spent. And finally, you can involve your internal and external experts in the review of technical solutions, documentation, and source code. Next slide, please. Yes, so basically we can offer the three models I explained earlier. So staff augmentation, we can help you extend your existing software development team by hiring full-time engineers. In dedicated team, we can help you with the full team that can work on the whole product. Or in the end-to-end option, we can help you with the building a product, but without full-time involvement of engineers or dedicated. Next slide, please.
Okay.
So how we are different? First of all, my team and I participated in 2 startup launches, so we know all the challenges you may face. So we can even help you with fundraising and introduce you to people from our network who can help your startup grow faster. That's what we do with our clients. And if you don't have an experience working with a company like ours or don't have an established development process yet, we can help you set it up and integrate the work of your external and internal teams.
Thank you, Ivan. And I'm just going to jump in here. If folks want to reach out to you, what's the best way to reach out to you, Ivan?
Yeah, so that's the next slide. On the next slide, there are my contacts. You can email me or find me on LinkedIn. So that is QR code with information. Yeah, so good luck to all of you. Have a great demo day. And yeah, see you later. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivan. Can we hit our 1 keys for Ivan, please? Our sponsor, and thank you for making it happen, this event. Ivan, also want to say if you want to talk to Ivan, you can hit his name tag, click on his email, send him an email right now, click on his website, check his website. Also, we have a banner over there, goes directly to the website as well. And Ivan has a booth in the expo hall, so Ivan will be there in the expo, plenty of chances to talk more. Thank you, Ivan.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Awesome. All right, Justin, let's switch back to our schedule, and let's get started with our pitches. Going to reschedule, move things around a little bit.